to present a poem. What shall I do?
What will you do? Is this a question? Show that you know the poem and remind them what a poem it is. Well, you know what you must do. Go, confront the problem, fight, win. And call me when you get back, darling. I enjoy our visits.
Welcome to the Poetry Dojo,
where we learn to know our poems.
and learn to wield them to fight and win.
Today we are considering Opportunity by Edward Rowland Sill.
Edward Rowland Sill was born in Windsor, Connecticut in 1841 and died in Cleveland, Ohio in 1887. But he had a notable amount of time that he spent in California, including being a teacher and a principal at a high school in Oakland. Back in 1868 through 1871, he was principal.
I can't imagine that California was a really, pleasant place to live in the 19th century.
It's certainly not the populous locale that it is now.
Mm-hmm.
That is curious. He wrote a number of poems. One that I'm most familiar with is A Fool's Prayer, but the poem we're looking at today is called Opportunity.
It is short and sweet.
Opportunity by Edward Rowland Sill. This I beheld, or dreamed it in a dream. There spread a cloud of dust along a plain, and underneath the cloud, or in it, raged a furious battle, and men yelled and swords shocked upon swords and shields. A prince's banner wavered, then staggered backward, hymned by foes. A craven hung along the battle's edge and thought, had I a sword of keener steel, that blue blade that the king's son bears. But this blunt thing he snapped and flung it from his hand, and lowering, crept away and left the field. Then came the king's son, wounded, sore bestead, and weaponless, and saw the broken sword, hilt buried in the dry and trodden sand, and ran and snatched it, and with battle shout lifted afresh, he hewed his enemy down and saved a great cause that heroic day. Opportunity by Edward Rowland Sill.
I like this poem. I like the framing, the dreamed it in a dream, kind of a vision, something to meditate on without being necessarily tied down to historical events. Just a notion.
Craven, a coward. He doesn't have the coward, speaking to the air. It's simply his thought. The excuse that the coward looks for, I don't have the right tools, so I'm going to sneak away. And then he looks to the king's son, who takes up the broken sword and defeats the enemy, wounded though he be. It is a short poem, therefore its power is focused. It is not a long challenge to memory, and so you have less opportunity to trip up on that aspect. There's often people are looking for long poems because they do get a small point advantage often in the judging for having the longer poem. However, that point adjustment is generally pretty small, and it
gives you enough rope to hang yourself with.
Exactly. And so a short poem delivered well can take you much closer to victory often than a long poem that is just offering a chance for you to forget a line or run short in so many different ways.
That is how I came forth in my poetry contest entry.
Ouch.
Thanks.
So, Opportunity. It's short and makes its point very clearly. Your audience, so long as you deliver this with proper volume and clarity, will understand what you are saying. So that also is an advantage to you.
Be careful with your pacing, that the ending does not sound abrupt. You need to build early enough that it doesn't come as a surprise when the poem ends.
So that you can take a pause when the coward, the craven, is gone and introduce the king's son and still have time then to accelerate, as it were, to the victorious conclusion.
Decide where you're going to stop for meditation and reflection. That is your choice, and there are advantages to various places.
Any you recommend?
I would say give your audience time to look with the king's son at the broken sword. Don't rush to his running and snatching it. Let the idea dawn on your audience as it dawned on the king's son. If you rush through that, I think you lose some impact, potentially. Thank you for tuning in. This has been a Diecast Media Group production. Please recommend us to friends, family, relations, but not your competitors. Feel free to email us with questions at poetrydojo@diecastmediagroup.com. Tune in next time for another exciting episode and another fine poem.